Welcome to Market Buzz. I'm Greg Schnell, the Canadian technician and host of the Market Buzz. Each show we do a deep dive into different industries using weekly charts to see what is happening on a long timeline. Please follow me on Twitter at Schnell Investor. You can also find my blogs on gregschnell.com as well as stockcharts.com. And this week I want to cover off software names. There's some new ones percolating and I just thought I'd bring those to your attention this week. They look pretty good. We're going to go check that out. So again, the agenda is the software names. If you have any questions about the Greg Schnell website, we're constantly trying to improve it. We've recently added a whole component regarding electric vehicles in there, if you'd like to see that. And if you're interested in any of the subscription offerings, you can just go to the homepage and you'll find them all there. Okay, let's jump into the software name. So I've got over 200 and some stocks here listed. We're not going to get to the back half of the group. We're going to stay focused on the very front area, and I think we all know some of these front names. They've been screaming higher, and very, very common to hear them talked about a lot. So that's not really the area I want to spend the time on. I want to get to some other ones, but we do need to know where the leadership is. So here's APPS, and you can just see that this stock is now $39. It was $7.50 in June 1st, so it's not a bad move, 5x. And here's TWLO, and what we see here is this chart's just starting to break through the 288 high and looks like it's on its way to its next leg higher. Scooter ranking staying nice and strong, relative strength compared to the S&P 500 very positive. Big bullish signal here with the full stochastic bouncing around the 50% level, that's very bullish. And the PPO indicator sitting up at a really high level, and it can stay up here for a year, so that's just a very bullish place to be. Here's Trade Desk, and it just broke out 2 weeks ago above this $500 level and is starting to push up higher. Lots going on there. Here's Paycom Software, and this one looks all set to break out. If we just zoom in here, what you'll see, 336, 342, 325, all of these areas are just below here, and we're just starting to break out to the upside at 373. So this chart looks really, really nice. I like the fact that it's breaking the downtrend in momentum peaks here as it starts to break out the right-hand side here. This one's probably one of the really nicer names that I like. SailPoint Technologies, this one's in an uptrend and continues to be. Look at the volume hitting it a couple weeks ago. Boom, it's consolidating sideways, but it's just starting to break out above that big push-up candle, so it looks like it's on its way for its next leg higher. Live persons, again, a lot of these charts are going to have upward sloping. I mean, they've been some of the big leaders in the names, but this is live person software. Scooter ranking up at the 97% level, outperforming the S&P 500. Full stochastic bouncing at 50, very bullish in an uptrend. And then what we see here is the ticker symbols trying to break through the $63 level. Looks like it wants to go on for more. PayPal just trying to break through the 10 weeks of consolidation here. Looks like that's about to happen. EGAN Communications, this one literally jumped from 14 to 20 here in the last 2 weeks. So it's already had a relatively big move. If you got to pull back, that might make that one a little easier. StoneCo. This one broke through, I'll call it the August-September highs here at $55. It's now at $60. It's been a really nice push up, and it IPO'd roughly 2 years ago. DOCU, this one, everybody's heard this name, but we were kind of trapped under this 229 level here for almost 3 months, a big spurt up briefly, and then now we're starting to march above that. So we're at 238, just starting our push. HubSpot, this one, it's been gently climbing, well, not gently, it's been climbing nicely off the lows of, call it $100, and now we're up to $300 here, so it's been a nice big move, just breaking through this 2-month consolidation period, and looks like it wants to try and go higher here. ServiceNow, this is just a beautiful tight chart, just continues up and to the right, so that one's just more of a longer term hold. It's just a nice smooth ride. Wix.com trying to break out here. It's been consolidating since, I don't know, let's pick early July and going sideways. Can it really start to break out here? The full stochastic starting to turn back up, so it suggests it might be underway. Paylocity, this is another nice name here with the $160 level, and we're just starting to push to new highs. Like that chart, scooter ranking nice and strong. DOMO, this chart is trying to break through the prior highs back here at $47. And again, once you break through the prior highs, what happens is anybody who owns the stock is now in a winning position. And when you have that, then that makes it very bullish for the owners. Nobody wants to sell. And here's Zscaler. This one's been running for a while. Really nice move back in here from $100 up to $150. Looks good. The chart's just trending up, and the full stochastic started to turn with the rest of the market the last couple of weeks here. Salesforce.com pushing up, trying to get through. I mean, it had a big, beautiful move from 200 to 280 in 1 week, and then consolidated sideways. Perhaps it's ready to take the next leg. Elastic NV, not sure what their software does. Here we go, but it's breaking out through this 110 level. Had a brief spire here at 117, but looks like last week followed everything else higher and is now starting to break away. The stock is at new all-time highs. You're breaking through this $100 level. It looks really good. It looks all set up here. Here's APPN Corp or APPN Corp, and this is a break above the $65 level, soared up to 80 already, so another big 2-week mover. Endurance International Group Holdings. This chart is starting to become stronger here. Want to see it get through these new 52-week highs, so right in around the 625, 650 level. Here's the 669. So anything in here is this stock, if it could start to run up, that would be very bullish. Looking in on Digimarc, a sudden move off the lows. Not the kind of chart I like to buy because it's been declining for pretty much a year, and now all of a sudden gets a sudden spark. Doesn't make it bad, but I'd have my step kept nice and close. AVLR, this one's just breaking out to new all-time highs. Very nice. IPO'd roughly 2.5 years ago and just keeps trending up. Shopify had a nice big week here, up at $1,100. Now trying to break through to $11.46. It's right at the prior resistance level. It's been holding here for 4 months. We've got the Amazon Prime days going on right now. This whole area, this Shopify area, this could be just setting up for its next leg up. I still like the name. Veritone pulled back here from a $20 high down to $10. Very big downtrend, but it IPO'd back here at $15, and you can just see the stock is quite choppy. Then it ran downtrend. Now, if it could start to turn up again, what I like about this is the PPO turning up right above zero. It's usually a pretty good place to get on board. It's also bouncing off the 40-week moving average and moving above the 10-week. I like the chart technically. Looks like it's ready to go, and I think my stop would just go below the last couple of weeks lows here. VRNS systems breaking out to the upside above 127. Really a nice push. ARLO Technologies, this might be the home security camera stuff, trying to break through the $6 level. Can it start to get going there? Lots of competition in that space. Globant, this is a big uptrend here, sitting at $200, just recently broke out through the 190 level and looks like it's starting its next leg higher. NUAN Communications, that's just a beautiful chart trending nice and high. Probably your stop is just your 10-week moving average and try to keep owning it. I think I just pressed a button there. Let's go to Coupa Software. This one's been consolidating for 4 or 5 months now. It'd be nice if it could start to turn back up here. The full stochastic starting to move, so it looks like it's ready to go. MongoDB, this one, you can see it kind of got stuck around the 185 level, then got stuck around the 250 level. It kind of builds these shelves and is starting to take off. I like the fact it's just turning back up again here. Very bullish location and shape on the chart. The relative strength to the S&P 500 breaking out to new all-time highs. Scooter ranking up in the top part of the range, obviously, or in the full stochastic up in the top part of the range. And again, PPO turning up above zero here. That's just a big bullish thing to see. Simulations Plus, this one was consolidating in the $70 range and is just starting to make a move now, 77. ECOM channel advisor, this one big push, big pullback, this one from 22 to 12, and is now starting to run back up. It's at $17, back above most moving averages, full stochastic bouncing. Looks pretty good technically. I like the fact that it's back above this $15 level and kind of held in there. Now it looks like it's ready for its next leg up. Viva Systems pushing to new all-time highs, just very bullish. Cadence Design Systems, again, the same thing, big trend higher here. Trying to get through the June-July highs, pushing up. Looks very good technically. The chart's in great shape. Tenable Holdings, this one's just breaking through its prior IPO levels. This is very nice to see. When you start to get that, that's usually a great place. Our scooter ranking here is around 90%, so it's still pushing up, looking relatively strong. OKTA, this one's got a nice upward sloping trend line and just looks like it wants to keep on running, so it's breaking out above this 230 level, very bullish. Black line, same thing, breaking above the $90 level, looking like it wants to go higher. Synopsis, breaking above the 210 level. There's a constant theme here. They're all just kind of breaking out of trading ranges they've been in recently. This one's trying to push to new all-time highs. SPS Commerce, this one's breaking through a 5-month consolidation and just starting to break out to the top side. Looks very bullish. 5.9, what a nice tight trend on this, and it just keeps rising up and to the right. Very, very popular, very nice chart. Ceridian, this one had a big swing in there with the COVID pullback, but it's breaking out now to the new, above this $87 high, breaking out to 90 this week. Looks really, really solid. Rubicon Project, now we're starting to get into some of the other names that are just starting to get back going again. Here's our scooter ranking, just joining back up above 70. You can see there's a downtrend here that we're trying to break through. We had started to break out here just before COVID, pulled back, and now we've got this kind of base building, and we're just starting to work our way above that. Chart looks nice. PPO just starting to move above 0. That's a nice bullish place on the chart. Manhattan Associates, this one consolidating for 5 months and now starting to break out to the upside above the $100 level. Looks very, very promising. EPAM Systems, this has just been a giant uptrend. Really a nice chart to look at. Workava, this one's just almost breaking through the $65 level here and getting up through that. Puts you at all-time highs. The chart's had a nice recovery, consolidating for 4 months here just below the prior high. Now if it wants to start moving higher, that's very bullish. Adobe just keeps going. This thing's at $500 now, and never fails to amaze me how it just keeps running, but it's running again. Bounced off the 50 on the full stochastic and looks like it wants to just make its next leg higher as we go through earnings. Pegasus Systems here, pushing up through the 130 levels and trying to work its way higher. I do like the fact that this chart was relatively stable in here, and now it looks like it's actually steepening its turn, so that bodes quite well. I like the shape. Zendesk, this one's just starting to pop above this $100 level. You can see the friction there. It's now at 110. Looks like it's ready to go. Anaplan, trying to break through this $65 level again. IPO'd 2 years ago and now just trying to get through here. If it can actually start to turn it up, this is, then you don't have anybody who wants to sell because everybody's in a winning position. Inovalon Holdings, this one trying to get through this $26 level. We can see the big wide base here, but the last 2 years has been pretty much an uptrend. We had the COVID pullback, a very harsh pullback from 22 to 13, and now we're starting to grind higher here, looking up around $27, $28. Another name that's starting to look pretty good. This one span chart, this has some interesting things going on. What we see here is the PPO is making a series of rising lows here, so momentum is starting to improve. I like the fact that it kind of made a ceiling here around, call it $20 for the last 2 years, ran up briefly after COVID, pulled back hard in 1 week, and now it looks like it's ready to restart its former rate of change. So I like this from a technical perspective, and hopefully it can get moving back like this one. Again, that name is OneSpan. AppFolio, this chart's been up and to the right for the last 5 years, still trending higher. Nothing wrong with the chart. It looks like it wants to try and get through the 180 level next. Splunk, this chart's consolidating sideways for 4 or 5 months, bounced off the 40-week moving average. Full stochastic came all the way home to 20% and starting to turn up nicely. So this chart still has a really nice look to it. Workday ready to get above that 225 level. It's now at 240, ready to push up here. Everything looks good on the chart. If anything, there's a big kind of base building here, and now we look like we're building the right shoulder and heading up and out of it. Voicera Communications, big sudden move up, pull back, and now looks like it's ready to start pushing up on a more consistent basis. These big push-ups in 1 week, again, you see the stock jump so much and then pull back, gave it almost all back, and now it's ready to head higher. Upland Software, you got a horizontal support and resistance layer at 45. Looks like it wants to just start going here. Very, very bullish. Cars.com, this one's stuck under $10. Not my favorite chart. We do know that CarMax and some of those other names are doing pretty well here. The PPO is right at 0. If it can start to spike here, this would be a great place to get on board. Scooter Rankings, one of the strongest it's ever been since the stock IPO'd. Evo Payment Systems, very competitive space. PPO is above 0 and looks like it's trying to turn up here. Stock is stranded in the area of the June highs, just trying to hold up. A break back above the 10-week would probably get us another series of higher highs and higher lows. As it goes through that $30 level, that would be pretty bullish. Altair Engineering, you can just see this is one of the names I was trying to highlight. So you see some of them have already run for so far already. This one's Altair Engineering at $43, just starting to break out here, getting up to 45.77. And starting to push up. What's not to like about that chart? It's breaking out to new all-time highs after IPOing 3 years ago. Really looks ready to start running. Evolent Health, same thing here, trying to get through new 52-week highs, made it up to 1450. Pulled back in the last 6 weeks, and now the real question is, can it make the next turn? Looking at ANSS, ANSYS, again, the chart's trending nicely up and to the right. Very smooth graph. What's not to like about it? Mobile Iron, this chart, see how gappy and how swingy this chart is? This is probably a chart that I would let somebody else own just because it's too hard to own from a technical perspective. Lots of volume hit it recently, and now it's just gone flatline, so perhaps it's getting bought out. Survey Monkey, this one IPO'd 2 years ago and is now starting to move up, trying to break through this 24 level and get going again. 2U, the stock, I don't like the shape of the chart particularly. I don't really like these big drops in it. It makes it harder for me to own, that's for sure. It is trying to bounce off the 40-week and turn back up here. That could be pretty bullish, but had a nice run back in 2017 from 36 to 98. So when the stock does start trending, it could be really nice. It is breaking the downtrend here. Full stochastic starting to turn up, and a PPO bouncing above 0 for the first time in almost 2 years. So from that perspective, it looks pretty good. Teladoc, these were some of the big movers early on in the COVID situation. They really didn't dip that much, but they haven't done anything since. So want to see this stock start to kick it up pretty hard here at this 250 level. You can see the scooter ranking is actually starting to decline rather than improve. MyTech Systems getting stuck at prior highs here around $13. Ran all the way up to 14. It's now back just under 13. The chart's okay. It's not my favorite. Again, it hasn't done much for 5 years, so unless they finally got something going on, that's not really the best look. Intuit is up and to the right, so that's very nice. Clouders, this one, it had a choppy week here. I'll call it 2 months ago or a month and a half ago. And now it's trying to break through this $12 level, and that would be horizontal resistance. If it could kind of get going here, that would be a little better. Autodesk consolidating sideways for 6 weeks. Charts bottom left to top right. Everything's nice on it. It's just a steady grower. Sapiens International Corp. This one's at $32, trying to get through that $35 high it built out in August. Again, the chart's got a really nice 2-year uptrend, and it looks like it's ready to just continue the next leg higher. Rapid7, another name I like, the breakout look. So it had a big 2-year run, went sideways for a couple of years now, and it looks like it's all set up here to break through the $66, $67 layer and surge higher. Really good look. This Q2 Holdings has been a steady grower from $20 to $100 over the last 5 years. Just keeps working its way up. Now trying to get through, we're at 93, 93, 94. We're sitting right around 100 here, or 99. Can it finally push out of this range and start to make its next leg higher? Green Sky, big downtrend here, not really something I'm interested in. PPO is looking like it's trying to turn up near zero here and start to get going. So unless they had something really good technology-wise that's starting to break out, the chart really needs some help, because there's a lot of downward gaps here that are very hard to hold through. MicroStrategy breaking out to new 3-year highs recently in September, pulled back, and now it looks like it's ready to do that again. This is an interesting chart. I just like the way it's finally getting to new 3-year highs. Something going on there. Solar Winds, solar names have been on fire. This one, horizontal resistance at 21, now starting to break out. It looks like it's just getting ready for its next leg higher. Bright Cove, again, a lot of these big gaps up and gaps down that are very difficult to own through. You see it all the way across the chart. I'd want to see it get through this 1288 before I really started to put my money in there. Let it get through this choppy area before, in my opinion. PDF Solutions, a really nice surge here to new all-time highs, pulled back, consolidating. Perhaps it can start to turn back up again. Park City Group, really big decline, hasn't really started to turn up, but it definitely looks like it's basing here. And any sort of pop to the upside, that would be helpful. It's not very far. It has to get through 625 to make new 52-week highs, and it's hiding in around 530. So got to go up 20% or so. Broadridge Financial Solutions, again, breaking out to new 2-year highs, ran up, pulled back a little bit. Looks like it's ready to start its next leg. Alarm.com Holdings, chart hasn't done much for 2 years, and again, these alarm areas seem to be very extended with Google and everybody else getting into the space. Aspen Technology, sideways for 2 years, not the greatest look. I do like the big uptrend it had. Consolidating right here after a big upward push, going sideways. If it can start to break above this 142 area, that would be a nice leg to get on, and perhaps it can go back and be one of the great stocks like it was from 2016 to 2018. Intelligent Systems Corporation, this is a nice big rounded bottom base building here, up around $45. Prior high was $56 over a year ago. Wouldn't take much, roughly through $45.50, and all of a sudden it would be at new 1-year highs. That would be quite explosive. Microsoft Corp, bottom left to top right, what's not to like about it? Really a nice push. The one thing I would say on these big names, I don't know how much they're going to have to worry about the antitrust issues going on in Congress, but the more you see the dominants just keep taking over, you wonder if they aren't going to get themselves in trouble again. You're starting to see the new Teams software be bundled with Microsoft Office software and being pushed out and starting to put pressure on companies like Slack. And it makes me wonder how many more of these companies are going to get pushed out of the way by these large guys, only to be charging for it later. Fair Isaac Company, this one's horizontal resistance right in here at 450. Looks like it's ready to take on new highs right away. A little bit of a declining trend on the PPO. I would like to see that trend turn up right away and start to break out. Here's Team. So the Atlassian software, and again, you just see this big horizontal resistance layer. It's really got to get through this $200 and start to break to the upside. Paychecks, resistance right in around $85 and coming back here to 80. Can it get through? It was I'll call it a very big, large cyclical swing. It's not quite a smooth chart, top left to bottom right, but it looks like it's trying to make its next leg higher. Has broken the downtrend in here, so it's starting to really move. Red violet, again, starting to break the downtrend in price. I like that action. The relative strength has started to push up to new 3-month highs, so that's pretty bullish, and it's bouncing off zero. That's quite nice to see. The stock IPO'd, literally shot to the moon, fell to the floor all in the same week, 46 to 5. And then it's been trying to build itself out of this base. So a lot of traffic here at the $15 to $20 level. A breakthrough $20 looks like it's going to be able to make the next leg higher. And again, the PPO turning up just above zero. That looks pretty good. Variant systems, lots of chop on this chart. I would just say I'm not that optimistic because of the chart chop. These big wild swinging weeks in the middle of some calm weeks, it just looks so hard to hold. I do like the fact that there's a downtrend in relative or in momentum here that looks like it's about to be broken to the upside. That would be quite bullish. Okay, Alteryx, same thing here, consolidating sideways for a year. Looks like it's ready to pop to the upside. So those are some of the names I'm starting to like. I like the ones that are basing. Again, here's another chop name that doesn't look that good to me. Alliance Data, that's a downtrend. We'll let somebody else figure out the low. When you're looking through these names, I think what you want to look for is the new breakouts. Some of the other ones have run a long way, and as COVID becomes more, I'll call it balanced out at the end here, I think there could be an opportunity for some of those high flyers to get rotated out of. I do want to point out that the large cap tech names are all trying to take out their prior highs here from September. So it's a little bit iffy, but I will say that the breadth indicators, if you go look at the articles tab on stock charts, lots of very strong commentary starting to show up here. So here's Martin Pring, and he's got a whole list of charts in there showing an extension. Carl says the market's overvalued, but that doesn't mean it's going to start to fall yet. And then here's Dave Keller, expanding new highs are bullish. All of my data, all of it turned up for the subscription package. I've got everything from percentage of stocks above the 200-day moving average. For the NASDAQ 100, as an example, moved over 90%. Really, really bullish type behavior. Doesn't look like a place where the market's ready to roll down yet. I know I'm getting lots of people who are calling saying, Greg, I just want to pull out because this election is coming up and I'm a little uncertain. To me, it seems like the market's starting to price in, moving past the election. So try and maintain a focus on what is working. And here's another article, Big Bullish Bread Thrusts by Arthur Hill. Really powerful information there. So all of the things that are running look very, very strong. Thanks for taking the time to join me on Market Buzz. Market Buzz airs Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. You can also see the recordings on Stock Charts TV YouTube page. You can also find my U.S. and Canadian market reviews on the Stock Charts YouTube page. So just go in there and click around, find Market Buzz, and you'll see all of the information there. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Hey, Grayson Rose here with Stock Charts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, maybe leave us a comment, and if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe at the link up above. We're going to bring you daily content from an incredible collection of technical analysts and financial experts.